How was it having Coach William Inge as your coach? Kind of obviously that new vibe to the room.
It's been really cool. He's more of a laid-back guy. I feel like everybody's more confident in what their abilities are. I feel like he's straightforward. He loves on you. There's also tough love, but at the same time, he builds everybody up the right way.
Are you interchangeable with Will and Mike, or are you playing one or the other?
Right now, Coach Inge, he expects everybody to be dual. That's something he's challenged us to be able to do for this season, just be making sure we're able to be dual and learn both positions. Yes, sir.
Having a year underneath your belt in this program, I'm sure that brings a comfort level. Just how do you feel like that comfort level can drive your growth throughout this fall camp?
It's definitely, I feel more comfortable with my role, just playing Mike and Will, just, learning day in and day out. Coach Inge is also helping me a lot with that and, just, making sure that I'm, in my playbook, living up to the standards of our LB room.
What is the biggest difference in your game compared to last year? Physical or just kind of on the mental side?
I would definitely say, more mental and physical. I say, I'm able to move better. I feel like I lost some body fat, composition-wise, and then also mental. Just being more confident in my game, more confident in the calls, and more confident in the scheme. Just being able to know my role, know my fit, know where run keys, eyes, things like that.
Can you feel a difference out there? Do you feel like you're a better player?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. I feel quicker, stronger, lighter. So, yes, sir.
I think you redshirted last year, but you played a little bit more down the stretch of the season. So that's sort of, I think, maybe a reward for the kind of work you were putting in before some of those final few games and even the bowl game when you got in.
I definitely do. I feel like, I worked hard. It was tough, but, being able to just learn from the sidelines, just looking at, older guys like Keenan, Bees, just learning from everybody around me, just making sure that, I'm just on my A game, and when the time came, I was ready for it.
How do you kind of manage that mindset? Because in high school, you were your tackle numbers are crazy, and now you kind of maybe didn't play as much maybe as you probably wanted to.
Right.
How did you kind of manage that mentally, and who kind of helped you kind of stay up and stay to where you play more down the stretch?
Right. Everybody kind of kept me up, AC, T-Lander, Keenan, all those guys, kind of just kept me in the loop, just making sure that, I stayed up on my game and made sure that, I was right mentally. It was tough, but like I said, it was tough. But, just knowing my role and knowing where I'm going to fit at kind of helped me as well.
How'd you feel that you performed when you got that chance? Because, not only did you get to play, you were pretty productive.
Right, yeah, it felt great, being able to get in, get some tackles under my belt, getting out under the bright lights on our fans. It felt great just being able to, just learn from people around me and just learn from guys that I was out there just watching and being in the game.
Are there ever moments with Keenan where you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's way older than us?
Yeah, I always joke around with him. I kind of make fun of him, but it's always love. I feel like his wisdom, being so much older than me, it really helps me a lot. Where we watch a film, while on the field, things like that, it really helps me a lot. I think it helps everybody.
Would you describe just like the daily, what's it like being in this linebacker room on a daily basis?
Man, I think it's crazy. We have a unique group. I feel like everybody's able to play. Everybody's able to handle their jobs and their role very well. And, it's crazy because, I feel like we're very deep in the linebacker room. And I feel like, we should play a lot of guys. And, that's what they always preach, being able to have a lot of availability in our room. And, I feel like that's what we're doing.
Keenan talked about how obviously he's a lot older, but and a lot of young guys in the room, but you guys don't really carry yourselves like young guys. You kind of sense that?
Yeah, I feel like, just from last year, I feel like we matured more. And, now that we're at that point, I feel like, we're able to be more mature on the field, off the field, in the meeting rooms, just helping other younger guys like Edwin. And I feel like, he also carries himself very maturely as well.
Sounds like Edwin's made a little bit of noise since he got here. What's the biggest thing he's done to kind of make an impression so far, and how much has he grown since the spring?
Honestly, he's always a headhunter. He's going to run through anybody's face, that's in front of him. And, I feel like he's made a lot of strides and a lot of growth from spring to now. And like I said, he's able to be very mature. I feel like he's going to be very good.
You touched on it earlier, but where do you think your game has developed the most since that Citrus Bowl game?
I'd say just mentally, my eyes, I feel like that's a big part of college football, your eyes. And, I feel like that's really, helped me a lot, making sure that my eyes are in the right place, my eyes are on the right keys. And I feel like that's where my game grows.
Is there anything that's impressed you about the way that Arion Carter has worked his way back from his season-ending injury?
It does. You know, I feel like even in the off season, you know, he was in walkthroughs, just very productive. You know, just making sure he's staying in the loop as well. And you know, I feel like it's very impressive. You know, I feel like he's full speed now, and you know, it's great to have him back for sure.
Do you guys know yet how the rotation is going to work? We were asking Coach Inge about that earlier. Has he kind of prepared you guys to have several of you ready, or how much did he talk about that?
You know, it's still early. You know, I feel like, we're able to, we have a vision. I mean, he talks about it, just making sure that everybody's ready, of course, but we don't really know yet.